They all want the pen. Can you believe these people? Should I give it to them? Famous pen. As we protect gun rights for law-abiding citizens, we are also getting guns out of the hands of violent criminals. When I took office 2 years ago, one of my highest priorities was to reduce violent crime. In the 2 years before my inauguration, the murder rate had increased by more than 20%, and the United States had experienced the largest increase in violent crime in over 25 years. For this reason, my administration resurrected Project Safe Neighborhoods, bringing together prosecutors, police, sheriffs, and citizens groups to put the most dangerous offenders behind bars. We funded 200 new violent crime prosecutors. We charged a record number of criminal offenders. And last year, we prosecuted the most violent criminals ever in our history. And now, violent crime is way down. Murders in America's largest cities dropped by 6% between 2017 and 2018. But I do have to ask you, what the hell is going on in Chicago? What is going on? We could solve that problem, we would have been down even a lot more. And it's not a tough problem to solve. You got to let law enforcement do what they have to do. They'll solve the problem very quickly, very quickly. We don't think enough about the victims. They're too worried about the people that caused the crime. It's got to stop. That thought process is no good. The number of police officers shot and killed in the line of duty last year, I'm so happy to report, is down 21% compared to the year before, and that was the year before I took office. One of the reasons is that we are supplying police with surplus military equipment, supplies, and gears that the previous administration refused to give up. This is surplus. This is extra. We don't need it. Great equipment sitting in warehouses all over the country. Billions of dollars of equipment that the military no longer needs or wants or uses, but the top of the line. Some of it's never been used, brand new. From vehicles to essentially supplies of all kinds, including bulletproof vests. And rather than having it sit and draw dust, I had it distributed all over the country to our police departments. And that's why you see these numbers. It's a great thing. You know, a lot of being president is common sense, right? Don't you think, right? It's common sense. Have a good heart, but it's common sense. In this administration, we will always stand with the heroes of law enforcement. They're heroes. They're brave. They're great. And they will tell you they haven't felt so proud of themselves for many years because they were abandoned by Washington. They were abandoned by our politicians. And not just the Obama administration. Before that, they felt abandoned. Well, they know that I love them, and we're going to protect them just like they protect us. Incredible people, great people. We've also taken critical steps to improve school safety. More than 30 states now allow teachers that are highly trained, talented people, to carry guns in the classroom to protect themselves and to protect their students who they love. Who's better? Who's better? I've been calling for that for the last 2 years, and I think we had a big impact. Some legislation's passed, and they don't have that few paragraphs. And the legislators actually go back to governors and say, we're not passing it unless you allow that to happen. So we've come a long way. But who's better to protect our students than the teachers that love them? Through Stop School Violence grants, we are helping local schools and police departments to hire more officers, train more teachers, and address early warning signs of mental illness. Every day, citizens across America exercise their constitutional right to defend themselves, their families, and their communities. That's a constitutional right. They want to take it away from you. They will take it away. You let these maniacs get into office, they will take that right away. I mean, you see what's going on. Let the Boston bomber vote. He should be voting, right? I don't think so. Let terrorists that are in prison vote. I don't think so. Can you believe it? But this is where some of these people are coming from. And they're the most popular ones. When Bernie Sanders made certain statements the other day, I said, well, that's the end of his campaign. Then what happened is everybody agreed with him. Or most of them. We know that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now, I wanted to be a little bit more original than to use a phrase that you've probably heard 1,000 times. But what's a better phrase than that? We can't do better. How simple is that? You know, Paris, France, they say has the strongest gun laws in the world. And you remember those maniacs when they went into the nightclub. I use this example. There are many examples. But they shot one person, another person, another person, another person. Hundreds of people dead and horribly wounded to this day. That was 5 years ago. If there was one gun being carried by one person on the other side, it very well could have been a whole different result. This shooting went on so long, and there wasn't a thing you could do about it. Get over here, boom. Get over here, boom. And then they left. They were captured later. If there was only one gun, if there were 2, 3, 4, it wouldn't have happened. Tiny percentage by comparison. But it probably wouldn't have happened because the cowards would have known there are people in there having guns. It wouldn't have happened. So people don't really understand the other side of the argument. I have the debate a lot, and I win the debate all the time. And the next day you see the same person who was so badly defeated in the debate going out and saying the same thing. Even though he or she, I really believe, know that you can't justify their side of the argument. So gun owners make our communities safer, and they make our nation stronger. Americans have always understood this truth going back to the earliest days of our nation. 2 months before the American Revolution broke out, with the shot heard round the world, a group of patriots gathered along a bridge in Salem, Massachusetts. In the preceding months, British soldiers had confiscated muskets in Boston. You know the story well. Gunpowder was seized in Somerville, and the patriots in Salem knew that the redcoats would soon come for the town's cannons. But the Americans were prepared. They already loved our country, and they were determined to defend their rights to the death. When hundreds of British soldiers arrived at the bridge, the Americans stood firm, blocking their path. When swords were drawn, they didn't flinch. When the redcoats tried to steal American boats, the Patriots sank those boats and sank them very quickly. When a British soldier held the tip of his bayonet against a man's chest, that man, Joseph Witcher, tore open his shirt and dared him to do his worst. Soon the crowd grew larger as civilians came from miles around to stand side by side with their great countrymen against tyranny. In the face of such unbreakable resolve, the king's soldiers had no choice but to admit defeat and failure and retreat. In the courageous actions of those early Americans, we see the defiant and determined spirit of patriotism that has always willed America to its greatest victories. It is a spirit that is passed down from generation to generation, from fathers and mothers to sons and daughters. It is the spirit that lives in each and every one of you. Our duty, our responsibility, our sacred charge is to preserve the freedoms that our ancestors gave their very lives to secure. Because no matter how many centuries go by, no matter how much the world changes, the central drama of human history remains the same. On one side are those who seek power, control, and domination. And on the other side are patriots like those in this hall who stand upright and plant their feet in eternal defense of our liberty. And with God as our witness, we swear today that we will defend our rights, we will safeguard our freedoms, we will uphold our heritage, we will protect our Constitution, and we will make America stronger, prouder, safer, and greater than ever, ever, ever before. To all of our incredible friends at the NRA, thank you for fighting the good fight. It is an honor to fight by your side. And it's an honor to be with everyone in this giant hall today. I am with you. I will never, ever let you down. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you.